Hey guys. So I'm gonna do a reading for people right here. Um, from Luke. From Luke, right? And this is Luke chapter 10, verse 25. And it's titled How to Inherit Eternal Life. And I'm going to read all the way from 25 to, I'm going to read and on into chapter 11. So I'm going to read 17 verses here, 18 verses. And I'm going to talk about them for a second. And I'm going to put this on YouTube, and I'm going to share it from YouTube onto platforms, because they're deleting my videos, so I'm going to try to do it this way, with this one. Just because my battery's low, and just want to get out quick. How to inherit eternal life. And to behold, a certain lawyer stood up and tempted him, saying, Master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? He said unto him, What is written in the law? How readest thou? And he answers and said, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy strength, and with all thy mind, and thy neighbor as thyself. And he said unto him, Thou hast answered right. This do, and thou shalt live. But he was willing to justify himself and said, And who is my neighbor? See? And Christ answers and says, A certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and fell amongst thieves, which stripped him of his raiment, and wounded him, and departed, leaving him half dead. And by chance there came down a certain priest that way, and when he saw him, he passed on the other side of the road. And likewise a Levite, when he was at that same place, came and looked on him, and passed by on the other side of the road. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion on him, and went to him, and bound up his wounds, pouring in oil and wine, and set him on his own beast, and brought him to an inn, and took care of him. And on the morrow, when he departed, that's the next day, he took out 2 pence and gave them to the innkeeper, the host, and said unto him, Take care of him, and whatsoever thou spendest, more when I come again, I will repay thee. Which now of thee 3 thinkest thou was neighbor unto him that fell amongst the thieves? And he said, He that showed mercy on him. Then he said Yeshua unto him, Go and do thou likewise. Mary and Martha are contrasted. Now it came to pass as they went, and he entered into a certain village, and a certain woman named Martha received him to her home, and she had a sister called Mary, which also sat at Jesus' feet, and I got to start using Yeshua because that's bugging me. I don't have a Bible with the word Yeshua in it yet. Who sat at Yeshua's feet and heard his words. And Martha was cumbered about much serving, and come to him and said, Yah, dost thou not care that my sister had left me to serve alone? Bide her therefore that she help me. Tell her to help me. And Yeshua answered and said unto her, Martha, Martha, thou art careful and troubled about many things, but one thing is needful, and Mary hath chosen that good part which shall not be taken away from her. She has chosen to work for the Spirit. She has chosen to work for that good part which shall not be taken away from her. Okay. So this comes back to what I was talking about the other day when I said that we're all being tested every day. Our humanity and our compassion and our love is being tested every day. That homeless person that asks for $1 to eat, it doesn't even matter if you think they're going to use it to buy drugs or alcohol. That's your judgment. That's your perception. Because you don't believe what they're telling you. And that's fine that you don't believe them. But that's casting judgment. So in reality, you can assume that, right? But you shouldn't draw a conclusion based on that assumption. And you should give them the $1. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because you're blessing them, right? Based on you believing what they are saying. Even if they're bold-faced lying to you. Okay? And go and use it for whatever. Doesn't matter. Because it's what you believe. And it's good to be charitable to people anyway. Right? So, he's told this rich man that he should act like the Samaritan and bandage the random stranger that he walked by and take care of him as if he was his own self. That means you should go out of your way to help people that need help and then can't help themselves because they've been stripped bare and naked by the world and been left in a ditch to die. You should love that person like yourself. And I wanted to read over here in the same, just so you can see. Now that I'm going to read in Matthew for this next part. All right. I think this one. I can't remember if it's 16 or 24. Where did it go? I just can't remember the parable. Offenders, brother, fig tree. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Judge not what thee be not judged. Judge not that ye be not judged. For with what judgment you judge, you shall be judged. And with what measure you might, it shall be measured to you again. And why beholdest thou the mote that is in the brother's eye, but consider not the beam that is in thine own? Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, let me pull out that mote out of thine own eye, and behold, a beam is in your own eye? Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of your own eye, And then thou shalt see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye. Give not that which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast your pearls before a swine, lest they trample them under their feet, and turn them again and rend you. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. For everyone that asks receives, and he that seeks finds. To him that knocks it shall be opened. Or what man is there of you, whom if his son asks bread, will he give him a stone? Or if he asks a fish, will you give him a snake? If you then, being evil, know how to give good gifts unto your children, how much more shall your Father which is in heaven give good things to them that ask him? Therefore, all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. For this is the law of the prophets. Enter ye in at the strait gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leads to destruction, and many there be which go thereafter. Because the strait is the gate, and narrow is the way which leads unto life, and few be there that find it. Don't worry about tomorrow. There's no guarantees. You have no control over it. Take care of your little neighbors and your testing and the homeless people, and help those around you that ask of your help. If you ask of the help of the Yah, you will find it. If you ask, he will answer. See what that just said? Love thy neighbor as thyself. And for whatever measure you judge this world with, that the world will measure you and judge you by that same measure. This is why the golden rule of consciousness is to love thyself as thy neighbor. Because we all are a collective consciousness sharing the same source of thought processing. We're all many expressions of the one big picture. There's your food for today.